I graduated 12th grade from like my 29th, 30th, 31st school. I lost count, but it's right around 29 or 30 schools. And today I'm recording a homeschool mom tag. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell down below so that you know when I upload in the future. Share this with someone who's considering homeschooling or someone who is homeschooling. I tag you if you are a homeschool mom to make this video and share your similarities and differences. Spread the love about homeschooling. So number one, were you homeschooled? Yes and no. Yes and no. I attended about 29 public schools, K through 12th grade. I went to like 5 kindergartens, 5 4th grades. We just moved a ton. And I actually missed a lot of school because of moving. And honestly, I was never behind because my parents never, ever thought that it was nearly the school teacher's job to educate their children. They were always reading to us and talking to us and explaining things to us. My mom would cook with us in the kitchen and we learned math that way. My dad would take us to work with him. He worked construction and he would always be explaining things. For instance, if he was working with wood and he sawed some different blocks off that were different shapes and I was 3 years old hanging out with him, he would be always saying, "What shape is this? What shape is this?" And I would say triangle or square. And when we were driving, he would always point out the signs and say, "That sign says STOP, stop." And he would be pointing out the mile markers to teach me the numbers. And so honestly, in kindergarten, it was kind of greasy wheels for me. It was so easy. The other kids kind of were like wondering how it was so easy for me because a lot of them, their parents, for whatever reason, really expected the teacher to teach them everything, and so they came to school really confused. So I do appreciate that my parents educated me at home as well as let me go to public school. And then I actually missed a lot of school due to some moves and it never put me behind. So did you always know you'd homeschool your children? Yes, I think so, at least as long as I can remember. I think at one point I thought I might private school them, but like I said, I graduated 12th grade from like my 29th, 30th, 31st school. I lost count, but it's right around 29 or 30 schools. And public school was a horrible experience for me emotionally, socially, academically. I really didn't learn that much. It was a horrible experience. I did have the privilege to go to a private Christian school for 2 years, and I learned a lot there. The teachers were very passionate about what they were doing. The private Christian school I went to, it was amazing. I'll put a shameless plug. It's called River of Life Christian Academy, and it's in Payette, Idaho. If you're looking for a good school, I imagine it's still good today. It was a breath of fresh air to me because the teachers there were just very passionate and very caring, and the student to teacher ratio was very good. Like there were many teachers per child. There was probably one teacher for every 2 to 4 students. So they caught a lot of things. There wasn't time for kids to be bullies. Bad things still happen at school, don't get me wrong, but the amount of bullying that went on compared to in public school, and I mean, I consider myself an expert on public school. I went to about 30 of them. The amount of bullying that goes on and drugs is insane. Not to say that doesn't happen at a little Christian school, but come on, it happens way less. What are your 3 favorite books in your homeschool library? The Bible. Sorry, not sorry, but you can learn so much from that. Gosh, any book and every book, because my children are only 4 and 9 months, and anything that you can read to a child, because you don't know, at this age, you don't know what they're going to be interested in yet. Well, with my 4-year-old to an extent. But with the 9-month-old, she's just hearing words and learning vocabulary. With the 4-year-old, she's starting to hone in a few of her interests, but same thing, she's building her vocabulary. So reading, because if someone loves to read, really they can learn anything down the road that they need to learn. So the Bible, first of all, because teaching them my faith and character is the most important thing. It's much more important than academics by far. And then any book. So to pick a second and a third, I would say the Bible is my favorite, and then the second and third are anything. I use the Epic app a lot because there's just a ton of books on there. The Epic app is used in classrooms, thousands of books. And then any books, I always ask for books for Christmas for the girls, and we go to the library all the time. I guess out of just like nostalgia, Brown Bear, because my daughter learned to read that to herself pretty quickly. As soon as she could talk, she basically memorized the book. Brown Bear, what do you see? Then if I would just go with nostalgia and also just sentimentality, since academically I can't pick any favorites, the Bible, Brown Bear, The Hungry Caterpillar. I don't know. I just say those two. Oh, green eggs and ham. Green eggs and ham. My daughter will eat anything green with green food coloring in it now, so thanks, Dr. Seuss. Are you the only teacher? Does your spouse help? Outsource help, tutors, etc.? No, I'm not the only teacher. My spouse does help, and we believe in learning all the time. We believe in education, but we don't necessarily think formal education is the only education, nor do we think it's the best education. So my spouse teaches, and then also at this point, you know, someday she'll be in activities like maybe swimming or ballet or whatever. Right now that just doesn't really fit into our budget, to be honest, budget or time frame. Someday I imagine she'll be in whatever activities she's interested in, especially in high school. Whatever interest she has, we would find a lesson or a teacher for that. She goes to Sunday school every Sunday and learns from the people there. She learns on Wednesday nights at her God's Kids program that goes on during the school year. And then also just any of my adult friends that are around. We don't have people around our kids that we don't want them learning from, because they're learning from everyone all the time. And so I would say every adult, everyone in her life, she's learning from. Number 5, what is your favorite place to buy homeschool curriculum? I don't buy homeschool curriculum. My children are 4 and under, so there's a lot of free stuff on the internet that I can just like print out. I don't buy it. And honestly, my philosophy for a 4-year-old is that much research shows that pushing them academically too young is really bad for them. It makes them obese. Formal education, like sit down with a pencil and paper education before the age of 7, is proved. When kids take tests in all the different countries with the different ways that they do things, it is proved that there is no benefit to it. And sometimes it's a negative. Yes, I read to my daughter, and she's showing an aptitude for reading. You know, we just read to her all the time, and she knows her letters, and we believe in learning through play at this time. Now, at the dollar store, I have picked up a book here and there. Like, there's one activity book that's basically a coloring book, but it shows them how to write their letters and stuff, but I don't force it. At this point, she's 4, and I know that a lot of preschoolers do get forced to have that formal education, but I just really don't believe in that. And this isn't just my opinion. I've really done a lot of research on the fact that across the board, there's no benefit. If you look at 15-year-olds that take standardized tests across the world, the ones that do better are actually from Finland, where they don't even start formal school until 7, and even then it's only a couple hours a day. So, do you have a set budget for your homeschool? No, it is absorbed in the budget for gifts and fun money budget, I guess you could say, and we don't really spend a lot on homeschool. I don't buy my kids a lot of toys. I do tend to buy them books. What is your favorite and least favorite subject to teach? My favorite subject to teach is character. That's the most important thing, is that they learn character, that they learn about our faith, which actually all character really derives from our faith, is what we believe. That's just the standard. Yeah, character would be my very, very favorite thing to teach, and character would be also my least favorite thing to teach, because sometimes it takes a lot of self-discipline to say to a child, I'm sorry, we have to go home right now because you're acting a fool. you know? Sometimes mommy and daddy have to make sacrifices, and we don't get to do the fun things that we wanted to do because we are being consistent in teaching character. Are you involved in co-ops or homeschool groups? What has your experience been in these groups? No, I am not involved in any co-ops or homeschool groups, although I probably would consider it in the future. Currently, I do like to invite other children over to our house to play just about any time, just to give my daughter time to socialize, and I like to invite kids of all ages so that she learns to socialize with people of all ages. What is your approach? Charlotte Mason, eclectic, classical, etc. My approach, I have my own approach. I have the Nikki Schumacher approach. I'm an unschooler, except I do believe that they need to be taught character. The book that I read says, train a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. In the way they should go. It's saying train their character. Yes, academics are great, but they are nothing compared to character. And down the road, character is what makes you successful, not academics. In our culture, we really believe how many facts you memorize is what makes you successful. Sure, if you're interested in something, memorize away, learn all about it. But character is of utmost importance, and a lot of unschoolers I know don't even, they just let them, I don't know, they don't believe in forcing your children to do anything at all, anything really. So I would say I'm like 90% of the unschooling philosophies I believe in, letting them learn through play. For instance, some unschooling that I learned was, I just had free range in the kitchen since like really young, maybe the age of 9, and then I entered math class and all the other kids were struggling with fractions, and I was like, really? You're struggling with this? It was like so easy. But if you've been cooking for several years, you know fractions. I mean, especially like say you want to cook something but you want to double the batch. Well, 1/4 of a cup and 1/4 of a cup is 1/2 a cup. But for a lot of the other kids in class, that was really difficult. And yeah, so unschooling methods work way better than just sitting with a book and a paper and memorizing. And unschooling doesn't mean like you don't learn anything. It just means you kind of let the kids do what they're interested in, and then you're there to assist them and point out the lessons and provide more resources if they're super interested in a topic. So I would be partially homeschooling, partially just I'm a Christian and I believe the Bible. And Abraham Lincoln was homeschooled, and the only book he had in his home when he learned to read was the Bible. And this was like the best presidents that we've ever had. Yeah, I guess that would make me eclectic then. And a little bit of classical thrown in there. So yeah, I guess I'm eclectic. I was tagged by A Beautiful Horizon. I was very flattered that she tagged me because she's one of my favorite YouTubers. She's amazing. Her content is really helpful if you're a mother or a wife or you just want to live a healthier lifestyle. Yeah, I was very flattered. I'll link her channel below, and I think that every homeschool mom I know has already been tagged in this. I'll go out on a limb. You know who I haven't seen do the homeschool mom tag, but maybe she already has? Micah Stauffer. She's amazing. So hey, let her know I tagged her in the homeschool mom tag. And if you're a homeschool mom, please do this video. You're good, you're precious, Grace.
I'm hungry now.
Are you hungry? Well,
Yeah.
Daddy will make you something.
How about some pancakes?
How about some peanut butter toast?
Okay.
Go ahead, ask Daddy for peanut butter toast. He'll do it. Hi babe, Mommy's recording. Do you need a snuggle while I record?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Someday she'll be in other activities, and I would imagine she'd have...
That water is cold.
Yeah, okay, Mommy's recording, honey, so we're gonna stay on topic.